So Taylor, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. I mean, you've been here for for what, like four, three, 5 times? I mean, you're basically a regular here.
Yeah, it's always fun.
I love it. I love it. How you been? How's everything for you?
Good. Everything's been real kind of chill but busy, if that
Mm,
makes sense. So, yeah, I'm in Kentucky right now in a hotel on location. So, having some nice downtime at the moment with some nice hotel coffee. But
that's
yeah.
so cool. That's so cool. And like for this year, how was for you? I mean, how has been this year for you in regarding acting? Like, has it been like busy as always, or probably maybe a little less or more?
It has been pretty busy. I'd say semi
Mm,
um consistent, which has been great. It's been mostly commercials for me this year, which has been a lot of fun. You get to do a lot of really fun, entertaining things and
that's so cool.
like archetypes and characters and stuff. So that's been great. And then,
That's so cool.
yeah, so that's been lots of fun. And some of them have flown me out to some places. I was like, oh, I've never been here before. That's exciting. But yeah, so it's been pretty chill, busy,
Mm.
fun.
Okay, okay. And out of the places that you have been, have you visited already all the states in the U.S. or there's still or there like still some missing?
Okay, so I when I was first moving out to Los Angeles from California, I hit almost all the southern states.
Mm,
Almost. I didn't hit Louisiana. I haven't been to Louisiana. And then I came back, I drove back in the winter one time to just do a cross country with my sister, and we hit most of the northern states except for that what's the north right west wait north yeah northwest
mm.
corner of America, and then New England and Alaska and Hawaii. But yeah, all the other ones I've got, but just that little pocket up there on the map, and then the New England area
That's
right
so
there.
cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Then we need to make a film in Louisiana. Then
Yes.
we got it.
In New
All right.
Orleans, vampires.
Yeah. Which by the way, so Halloween just passed by, but I saw on your Instagram that you make some pretty cool posts as a vampire, and you were actually kind of like in a restaurant, or was that like in a set, or what was it?
Oh, it was definitely a restaurant. We went to a
Okay.
candlelight Halloween concert, which was really cool. And then beforehand, we got there a little early. And so we stopped somewhere to get food because they didn't have food at the concert. So
Mm,
that was fun. And it was like, had such fun lighting, and everybody was way cool. They had like velvet couches everywhere. It was like half lounge, half like dive bar, which was
yeah.
interesting. Yeah, so that was lots of fun. Everybody was
That's
dressed.
that's so cool. Okay, okay. And like when it's Halloween for you, for example, do you watch like regular horror films here and there, or you just focus on dressing up, having fun? Like what is your, let's say, ritual for Halloween?
Well, so it's kind of like a whole month thing. I don't watch scary movies except for during the month of October. I
Mm,
don't know why. It's like if I watch it on September 31st or something like that, I'm gonna have a nightmare. If I
mm,
watch it during October, I'm fine. I watch it
yeah.
on November 1st, nightmare. So usually I watch all the Halloween series. I usually watch all those. This year I only watched the new three because I hadn't seen them yet.
Mm,
And plus it was October was insanely busy, but um yeah, with like family things and work things. But yeah, but that's usually it. Like I watch like a scary movie a night during the month of October, and then just dress up for whatever party or event and stuff like that. And my mom has some community things that she likes to do, so I'll go visit her if I'm in town. But I was in I was near my mom's hometown a lot during October, which was different. Wasn't
yeah,
planning on.
yeah, I bet. And so you watch basically, yeah, like horror films here and there, and can you recommend one for probably next year, or yeah, maybe next year, it sounds way too far, but like in the next couple of weeks, let's say that I want to watch a horror film. What
Oh,
would you recommend?
oh, there's a lot. I really like the Bram Stoker Dracula, but that's just because I like vampire stuff. In fact,
Mm.
that's what I mostly watch. I mostly watch a lot of vampire films plus the Halloween series. I couldn't find the Scream series on any streaming platform, which was frustrating for me because that's a go-to for me as well. But yeah, I like all the Scream movies. I like the Halloween series, most of the Dracula films. Dracula Untold, I think it's on Netflix everywhere. That was pretty interesting. When I first watched it, I remembered I didn't like it, but when I watched it again this year, I was like, why did I not like this? This is pretty good. But yeah, I'll go back and rewatch things. Oh, Crimson Peak. That was pretty good too.
Okay, fair enough. I watched this film called Terrifier 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, I ended up doing like a little bit of research here, and it turns out, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but that it's kind of like so it's kind of like a indie film, but there was this big producer behind it, so they got a lot of budget to it, and it ended up having like almost kind of the same success as Top Gun 2, you
Oh
know?
wow.
Yeah. But the thing here, so when I saw it, I was like, okay, I want to watch it. And when I watched it, I was like, okay. I mean, it's good, but if your thing for horror is watching gore, then you're on the right spot. But if your thing is horror, but you don't like gore at all, yeah, then probably, yeah, because it's too. I mean, I did enjoy it, but the gory scenes were like, whoa, wait, just like chill for a little bit here, because it was way. I mean, if they make Luke Saw like nothing,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big gore person. That was one of the things I did not like about the new Halloween movies. They had a lot of extra stuff that would not have been in any of the prior incarnations of Halloween. I was like, what? But then I realized, oh, it's Blumhouse. Blumhouse makes everything mega gory. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I probably won't rewatch the new ones, but I'll rewatch the old ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember watching the old ones, and they were pretty scary. That and The Exorcist. I mean, The Exorcist. I remember back when I was little, I did watch it. Huge mistake, but I watched it, and for a couple of months, I couldn't go downstairs with the lights. I mean, I was like 8-9 years old, so I couldn't like go downstairs with the lights turn up. I would like literally couldn't do that because it was like that scary. Of course, later on, I watched it like more older, and I was like, it still was scary for me. I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense why the 9-year version of myself was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's horrible. You haven't?
No, the whole demon stuff freaks me out. I'm like, no, thank you. Ghosts are okay. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of particular about the types of scary movies I watch. I can't do paranormal stuff. I'm like, no. I can do like some ghosts, but not like Paranormal Activity ghosts. I mean, like traditional like Boo ghosts. I can do that. And then like I can do like monster movies or whatever, but I don't know. The demon stuff really freaks the crap out of me. I'm like, nope, not about that.
Yeah, especially when they say that it is kind of based on a true story,
Yeah.
Or things like that. Yeah, when I was in Germany, I didn't knew that, but later on I discovered that I was near near the town where the whole exorcist of Emily Rose happened. Like something like that. And when I knew that, I was like, thank God I didn't knew that back then, because otherwise I would be like, no, I don't want to, like pass. But I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just that those type of stuff, since they're kind of based on on a true story, and like the whole demon stuff to me as well is just like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. Be like, no. I like also like going to haunted places, and things like that. I also try to avoid it, because I do believe that if you search, you find.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would. Yeah, I mean, and I would hate to bring something to my home, and whenever I want to go to bed, I will hear something or be tormented by something. I'm like, yeah, no, I mean, I love sleeping. Why I should you know destroy that by just going to this hunting stuff place or whatever.
I gotta tell you this one story. So I was visiting my mom, and some of my friends in the town came to visit, and this one girl, so my mom's got a little Yorkie, and he's super nice, loves everyone. And so he'd already met like my one friend that came to visit, and he was all super nice to her and everything. Well, we go to this place that she recommended. She's like, yeah, it's a spooky kind of place. They say like witches and stuff live around here. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go there. She's like, yeah, it's no big deal, I was just there. So we go check it out, and then we leave. But she like goes into one section that we don't go into. We come back to my mom's house, and the dog will not have anything to do with her. Like, he was growling at her, like, back off. Like, I went close to her, like, I started to walk towards her, and he was like all possessed. Like, he's a tiny little Yorkie, and he's like, no, back off, I don't like you, stay away. And she's like, why do you not like me? She's like, come on. She's like, you were just my best friend, I was just here, we were all nice, you liked me before. So I was like, something attached itself to her. I was like, get out. But I didn't say that, of course. But I was like, nah, this dog does not like you right now, he just liked you, and now he's like. But again, we went to a creepy place, and she went a little bit further into the place than we did, so we're like, ah.
Wow.
So yeah, I was like, I guess spookiest thing that's happened to me. Thank God.
For me, yeah, I did. Yeah, for me, I had a couple accidentally, which I hate the most because it wasn't planned. One of them, yeah. So one of them was like way. I was in high school, I think, at that point. Yeah, I was in high school. Anyway, so I was in this Catholic school, and every near December they will choose a group of people, and then you will go to this kind of local communities, to kind of bring them toys, food, have a good time here and there. And if you choose to be in this group, you will get basically free grades. So that's why I choose it. But anyway, my point here is that we went to this place, right? And yeah, the people were super nice. They were super friendly. I mean, it was definitely an incredible experience. I mean, you get the chance to really discover that those guys with little things, they get super happy, and they're like super excited. I mean, they make you feel like very humble, it's a very humble experience. But anyway, so when we were there was this local guy who was with us the whole time, basically. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, is there any haunted place here? And then he said, actually, yes, there is. So I was like, oh, thank you. I guess we're gonna go there. So we did went there, and as we were approaching, we have to cross like a I don't know, like probably like half a mile. Yeah, like half a mile of woods, basically. Those woods, they were like super scary. But anyway, so we were like crossing there, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be that. I mean, I guess this is a haunted place, right? The woods. But no. So you were just crossing the woods, and then at the end we saw like this huge house. In Spanish, they're called haciendas. Like this old houses. Back from like way back, like when the Spanish people were here, and like the whole like 1500 era, 1600, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was huge, but it was abandoned. But here's the catch. So as we were approaching, there was suddenly this white dog appeared like near to us, right? Super friendly. Everybody loved it. He wasn't look like a regular stray dog. He was looking like someone actually, like take care of him, but he started to follow us. As we were approaching to this place, there was a point in which like the dog was in front of us and became aggressive. He started to bark at us, like really aggressive, like literally trying to tell us don't go there. So the local guy says like, okay, this is it, we can't go near. And we were like, why? And he was like, I'll explain you later, let's just get out of here because this is kind of the sign that we shouldn't be there. So this friend of mine turned back, took a photo of the place to be like, I want to have a memory. Took a photo. He was having like those Polaroid, like those ones that you. Anyway, so he took the photo. We were leaving, and as we were like just walking by, the dog just stayed there, and then suddenly we didn't saw him anymore. I mean, he was like behind us, and then he basically disappeared. The scary thing is that like somewhere along the way, this friend of mine was like super scared and super anxious. We're like what the hell is going on? And then he showed us the photo. The thing is that when he showed us the photo, the dog was in front of it. So when he showed us the photo, there was nothing there, just the house, no dog. When we saw that, we were like, oh, like okay. So we basically were like super scared, and then the local guy was telling us like, don't run. I mean, it's gonna be worse. Let's just go back home, and I'll explain you later. And then when he ended up explaining to us later, of course at night, was that in that area back then, they were doing like some very kind of satanic rituals, and all of that stuff. And due to that, they have like apparently like this dog is kind of like a warning, like a warning sign to everybody to be like, just don't go inside of it. So yeah, that was pretty scary. After that, of course, the whole experience just ruined. We were like super scared. The photo, my friend of mine, he actually still have it. I'm gonna ask him one day if he can like take a picture and send it to me so I can show it around. Because yeah, like literally you can see like literally like the whole house in there and everything, but there was a dog in the middle of it, but there's no dog in that picture. So that's kind of yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool though.
Yeah, it's like, cool. Oh. Yeah, and the second time that happened when I was in Germany. So yeah, so I was taking some German courses in some other town, and then in order to go back home, I was forced to go on bike or go walk. But if you go on bike, it would take you like half an hour, 45 minutes probably, and if you go walking, it would take like an hour and a half. But so I was just driving. I was riding back home. It was winter, but I was with my bike. And as I was just coming near to my house, near to the place that I was living in, at that there was this route in which basically goes, you can take the short way, which you will just be between houses here and there. You will have to cross a little bit of kind of the woods, but the woods would be like on the side, or you could take the long way, which is basically you take the highway and you just kind of do like the whole circle to it. So of course it was late at night. It was like 12, something like that. No, like 11. Yeah. So I was just returning, and then I was just with my music, with my jam, just chilling and everything, and then like and then yeah.
Right. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hello. Yeah, okay. No, okay. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry, they usually come like way earlier in the day.
No, it's okay. So what ended up happening is that as I was just I was just riding, headphones on, music. Even I was singing. I remember. I think I was singing, but anyway. And then on this cross, in which if I go left, I just go like super close to my house. At that cross, there was like this small this small street, and then on the front of it, it was just kind of a way to the woods, and to the left was just to go to my house. As I was just closing, around like, I'm gonna say like probably like 30 meters. Yeah, like 30 meters. Yeah, 30 meters away from me, there was this huge guy, whatever, like in front of me, but he was but he was backwards. I didn't saw the face. He was backwards, but he was huge, and he was having like some kind of a turnout clothes, and he was just looking at like, let's say, to the woods. He was just like watching there. So when I saw that, I put the brake on it and I turned off the flashlight of the bike, and I just basically stood there because I was like, what the hell I'm gonna do? I mean, like what the hell? So I thought so, and of course I was like, this can't be a prank because no, this can't be. I mean, I was in shock because there was this. It was like literally like a really big like a really big like figure, and just doing like just like watching only to the way of the woods. So at that moment I was like, okay, I have two options: either I run or I run. So as I was like, I can run with the bike or I can run without the bike. But since the bike was not mine, I was like, I can leave it here. So I was just like, basically, I grabbed the bike and I was like making like footsteps to kind of put it the other way around, like to put it the other way. And as I was doing that, I made some noise, and then as I turned back, that huge shadow, like that thing, like whatever, just ran away, but ran away like in a very weird way.
Oh.
As I came home, I was like literally like super scared, and then the owner of the house was like, what happened? And then I told him the story, and then he was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, literally, it happens. And he was like, man, I live here for so many years now. I never have that encounter. And I was like, well, I did, and I'm not lying. I'm not lying, I swear. And then he was like, okay, let's go back. And I was like, I'm not gonna go back. And then he was like, yeah, let's go back. And I was like, no. Haven't you seen horror movies? Whenever you get back, it's awful for everybody. Let's just leave it there. And of course, he was like, okay, let's go with the car. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go with the car. So we went back, and he parked in front of the place that thing was. He put he put like like, what's the word in English? Like the long lights, like psh, like the.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. High beam.
High beams. There you go. He put that, and then he was like, you see, nothing. And I was like, okay. So. But I was like, I was telling him like, I swear there's something there. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. So as he was doing that, I switched seats, because I was like, if something happens, I'm just gonna drive the hell out, So I switched seats as he was going, and then he just I remember his face when he looked to the ground, and he looked at me like, you were not kidding, and then he was like, come see. So as I was doing it. Because it was snow, there was actually some footprints. And when we saw the footprint of that thing, it was just weird. It was not like a regular footprint. And then when he saw that, he just looked at me, and I was like, I told you that this was that I was not kidding. I told you. I mean, I will never do that. And like literally, the footprints were just like literally going straight to some of the woods there. And then I was like, we're not gonna explore it, right? And he was like, yeah, of course not. But we were both super scared that day. Actually, after that, I stayed there for like a couple of like for 5-6 months more, and I was just I was only riding the day. At night, I was either grabbing a cab or stayed in another friend's house, because I was like, I'm never gonna ride at night again at this road, never again. So.
Oh.
Yeah, that was scary.
That's real creepy.
yeah. And when I told like some other people, they never they didn't know either. So I was like, what the hell did I just watch then? Like why? Like why nobody has seen it so many years now, and just a Mexican guy who came here for a visit for a couple of for just a year, for almost 2 years, had to visit, like, from all of the people, why me, but it happens.
That's so funny. Oh, that's interesting though. Sounds like, what is it, Slender Man or something?
Or like probably was like what is the name of those things? Wendigo?
Yeah.
Like the like apparently there's this wood area in the US, right? When they say that you might encounter with those things, right?
Yeah, I think it's in like the west. Winnebago. Yeah.
And like, do you like whenever you get free time, do you like go hiking to the woods, or not at all?
I haven't recently, but I did that a lot growing up, and Yeah, I haven't done it in a couple years, but I do
Mm,
like hiking. I like going for, they're calling it forest bathing, but it's a nature walk.
yeah, and but like whenever you do that, you will walk to areas that are safe, right? I mean, I would assume that they have areas that this is the safe path, this is safe, this is safe, this is safe, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because the other day I saw this video of this guy who was doing hiking, and then there was this bobcat in front of him.
Well, he might not be on a path then. Usually they have like hiking paths marked out for people, and they'll
Mm,
have people like wildlife preservationists, something like that, but
mm.
they monitor like the activity of the wildlife. So like if bears are gathering in one area, they're like, please stay away from this path, we've seen bears, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
he was rules because people do that.
And like from all of the places that you have either do a film or TV series here and there, what has been the place you were like, this is very creepy though?
Oh, another scary movie you could watch is Truth or Dare. I filmed Truth or Dare in Alabama. Alabama was creepy. Not all of it, just the part that I was in.
Mm.
And West Virginia. West Virginia had the certain part of West Virginia I was in kind of gave me some like I could get kidnapped vibes.
Okay.
Not like supernatural creepy.
Mm.
Alabama, where did we film in Alabama? I think it was Birmingham. We filmed in like this historical house. And I don't know, something about that area just seemed really, maybe it's because we were filming at night. I was only on set at night. I don't know, like being on set was fine, but like going to my car from the set, I don't know, just kind of like a dark vibe. But it could have just been it was at night. But that was the creepiest. And then, oh yeah, okay. So I filmed in Spain in this one in a castle.
Wow. Okay.
It's not out yet, so I can't say anything else. But
Yeah.
it used to be a monastery,
Mm.
and so they have this chapel in the castle. So it's like it's a castle, but it's a monastery. I don't understand. But it was in Barcelona, like Catalonia, in the mountains.
That's badass.
It was way cool. But I felt the creepiest when we were filming in the chapel, and some of the crew people, they started like cursing things, and I was like, you don't do that in a chapel. I was like, you take your shoes off to go into the Taj Mahal. Don't say these things in a chapel. Doesn't matter what you believe. I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh. I was saying all the prayers for like protection. I was like, oh, somebody's gonna get struck with lightning today. I was like, really, not really bad. But yes. So that was pretty, I think that was just that was probably the most like, I felt like something bad could have happened. But that was just probably because I was feeling like
the vibes.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's pretty scary though. That's weird. Like,
yeah.
Why would you do that? You know? But
I have no idea. I was like, just massive. Like, I'm like, this place is like a couple thousand. Like, I don't know if it's thousands of years old, but it's like, from the 1500s. You know, I'm like, this place is like mad old. Have some respect. I was like, but again, so those were the creepiest on-set things that have happened to me, or I've been around. So, but nothing like supernatural, thank God.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard this story about? It was back. I think it was back in the 60s or 70s. That this film, that they made this Western film in the desert of Nevada, but it turned out that area where they shoot the film, it was recently the area of nuclear testing.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the whole crew, like basically everybody died after it because of the whole radiation and everything. And I was like, what? Like.
Yeah, there are a couple of films like that. Apparently, they used to use asbestos as snow for some old films. So all these
Oh,
people were dying because they were handling asbestos and like doing this to the air. So everybody's inhaling it. Isn't that crazy?
it is
Oh, like,
crazy.
oh, yeah. I know recently, I think, is it called Maze Runner? You know, the actor Dylan O'Brien?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So apparently their whole crew got massively sick because, well, not the whole crew, like the actors and a couple, I don't know, something like that. A couple of actors, including Dylan O'Brien, took something from the set
Okay.
and it Indian burial ground. So they all got massively sick for like days or something like that. That's what I've heard. I think they returned. I'm not entirely sure, but I was like, no, if something says do not touch, do not take because of X, Y, and Z, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go visit that doll that they say is haunted. He can follow me home. No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, like the Annabelle doll.
Exactly. I'm like,
but like, have you seen it? I mean, like the real one?
No, I've seen the boy one. You know, the sailor boy.
Mm.
I haven't seen it in person. I've just seen like pictures and videos.
Yeah. But like it looks like totally different from the one. I mean, I understand from the film they had to they had to create this very scary doll, but like the one in real life doesn't look scary. I mean, it's hard. It's difficult in your head to imagine that doll was carrying like with so much, you know, like bad energy, and like the fact that they have it like in they have it like closed and everything, and like the people and like who like the guys who did that, they put like all of their scary thingies here, like they have it in their house, you know. I'm like, I mean, that takes a lot of courage for you to actually no.
I was like, not going anywhere near it. Yeah. So
Yeah, no.
they're like, it's like, why would you don't want it in your life, so why peek into the door or whatever. Something like that. I forgot what it was said. It was so like profound. I was like, you know what, you're right. I don't need to go near that stuff. I was like, that's cool, you guys think it's interesting, you can go. I just don't want any of that on me.
Yeah, totally. Or like the actress who played, what was the name of this film? They actually did a bunch of them. Poltergeist?
Okay.
What's the film, right? But anyway, that the little kid who did that died later on. You know, like, yeah. Like my point here is that whenever you will get you will hear this kind of scary stories that things that happen to actors whenever they play this very scary role, you know, and or like weird things will happen on set when they are like doing this film. I mean, that is super scary, which totally makes sense, as I was saying. Like when you search, you find, and I mean, I don't know, like having. I mean, if I was an actor, let's say, and they put me in this huge blockbuster demonic film, I mean, yeah, it's a job, and yeah, I could get like a lot of money to it, but I don't know, you know. As I said, I mean, I like to kind of look on the sidelines instead of actually be on the court, you know. I prefer to just watch it on the side and be like, oh, that's scary, instead of being like, yeah, this is scary, I'm actually living it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's one of those things, like, I enjoy doing, like, being in scary things rather than watching them. But there's some scary things I'm like, I'm not going to play that. No, thank you. It's like, no, because it's like, you know, you, like, when you rehearse that stuff, you're not just doing it on camera. You're doing it before you get on camera. It's like in your life for days, weeks, months, however long you're playing the character, and your rehearsal period. And then it takes it like for some people it takes a long time to lose that character and get into a different mindset, you know? So it's like not about that life, not the creeps.
But like, has it ever happened to you, either you played this role and it took you the most to kind of just like get away with it, like put it away and be back to the real you? Like has it like, I mean, not like in a role for like horror film or something, no, but like in general,
Right.
like has it happened to you like any role that took you the most for you to kind of put that away and return to be the real you?
I don't think I've had that happen yet.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know if I play somebody that's really sassy and bitey, it's hard to drop that.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm like, it's like, I think I'm a pretty upbeat person, but if I'm playing like a sassy, bitey character, then it kind of like comes out a little bit because it's sassy. I don't know. That's what I've been told, at least. I haven't seen it myself, but I've been told I get sassy when I'm playing that kind of character.
Okay. And like moving on here, like what has been some of the funniest auditions you ever had? Like this audition you were like, I totally blew it.
Oh, I mean, I've had some of those. I think I did this one. There was an audition that I did recently that they said, and they dance, and they described how you're supposed to dance, like not saying what kind of dancing you're doing, but they're like, we want to see you dance and enjoy having yourself a good time. And I was like, what? I was like, okay. So I put on a Young Gravy song, and I was just like, because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get this. And then I ended up booking it, and I kept the Young Gravy song in my audition. And I was like, that's one of the things that when I first started doing workshops and acting classes and stuff, they were like, when it's like, you don't want to have any background noise, you don't want to have any music in your auditions, this and that, and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm breaking the rules right now. And I was like, well, this is one of the times it paid off. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I kept that audition video for like a while because I was like, this is funny. I'm like, I just rocks, like, I don't know, it's his Myrtle Beach song or whatever, and in his music video he Roxbury's, like, you know, yeah. So I just did that for most of the video. I was like, I don't know what to do.
And like, do you still have it or not anymore?
No, I have it. I didn't get rid of it. I'm just not showing anybody anymore.
Okay.
I was like, look at this video, and then I realized I look kind of dumb, but you know, it's fine. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I love stuff anyway, but
yeah. I mean, you can, at some point, perhaps you can show it to me, like on behind the scenes, you know, so I can watch it. That would be cool.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. And like let's say that one day I call you and I tell you I want to become an actor, you know. Now, if I don't have any experience at all, like not zero. So based on what you know, what advice could you give to a 30-year-old guy who doesn't know anything about acting, who just did a play back in high school and that's basically it, but wants to start on this acting journey? Like, what could you say to that guy?
Oh boy, there's a lot that you could, like, just starting from ground zero. One, get a care of yourself. You don't have to pay more. You don't have to pay a lot of money. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars to get a decent headshot for submissions. Okay. Look up agencies in your area, and if they don't hire you right away, ask them for recommended acting courses in your area, because you can Google acting classes near me, and then you're going to get a whole gamut of things. But if you Google talent agents near me and see that they have like a good standing or whatever, and they don't charge you, that's another big thing. Talent agencies, you do not pay them to sign up. Okay. You pay them when you get so yeah, that's what I say if you're wanting to start doing stuff professionally. That's just like baby steps. Get a decent 8x10 photo of you, and then Google an agency in the area and ask them for recommended acting courses and stuff like that, and hit up lots of people, because depending on where you are, it's like they might be crazy slam talent agencies. Like in LA, you're like, you rarely get hit back, but there's also like a ton of acting courses that are all highly recommended. But like if you're out like in the Midwest or something like that, there's a lot of ad agencies and stuff like that. That's just a good way to get your foot in the door, because once you start working with people, you'll start building relationships and they lead to other gigs and stuff like that. So I think that's, yep.
Okay. And would you recommend me to get an agent right away or wait a little bit?
I mean, if you can get one right away, that's great. Starting out and stuff, I guess, getting on Actors Access, and I know a lot of people like Backstage. I'm not on Backstage. But yeah, Actors Access, you can self-submit for things in your area and other as well without an agent. But once you get an agent, then they can see what exclusive casting directors post to get you higher level auditions and level gigs, because some people don't like going through those submission services. They will go to a specific agent and be like, hey, do you have people that can fill these parts? They're like, yeah. So, and then you're only pulling from that small pool of talent as opposed to a huge casting net. So it's all just different. So there's nothing wrong with getting an agent right away. And there's also nothing wrong with self-submitting for a while first.
Okay. And let's say that I don't have any money for me to, get into acting classes, but I have internet and YouTube. So as a start, would you say that seeing like those acting tutorials on YouTube as a start, of course, would help, or be like, no, get a job, save up some money and go to an act? What would you recommend on that situation?
Well, I think both, because I mean, like, there's a ton of stuff on the internet right now. I mean, totally. I did I was one of the actors in, I know he's like Taboo or whatever, but in Kevin Spacey's masterclass, that's on YouTube for free. It's like, the guy is creepy, but his like techniques were great. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great breakthrough working with him. So I was like, wow, yeah, stuff like that. Finding old videos and masterclasses of people who you admire, or they have like a reputation. Like, I know there's some people, they just put stuff online and it's like, are you an actor? What? You know what I mean? It's like just doing your own research before like delving hardcore into watching these actors.
Absolutely. You can watch this platform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now, would you also recommend for me to get what is the name of this thing? I always forget it. The SAG-AFTRA? Am I right?
SAG-AFTRA? Oh, I mean, that's a personal thing. A lot of people like it. I know a lot of people I'm SAG eligible, but I have not joined. I've been SAG eligible since 2014.
Oh.
Okay.
And
I've never joined because in some states, once you join that, you're a part of a union, and you can only work union jobs. But a lot of my higher paying work has been non-union. So at the moment, I am not joining. But the goal is to be, I believe if I'm a must join, then I will join. And in order to do that, you have to be working consistent union jobs for like X amount of days and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. You have to have like 3 vouchers from SAG projects in order to be eligible. You have to have 1 speaking role in a SAG project in order to become SAG eligible, or 3 vouchers, like 3 non-speaking roles in different SAG productions in order to become SAG eligible. And then you can pay a few $1,000s and then you're a SAG member. But if you're a must join, that means you're working all the time, and sometimes the production itself will pay for you to join. And I'm I'm kind of like, I'm not being like a cheapskate or anything like that. I was like, I'm not gonna join unless I absolutely have to. That's just me though.
No, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
all
yeah.
about is
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reason why I ask you that is just because I remember back when I was starting this platform, there were so many actors who told me that they were having like this necessity to join, and I asked one like why. So what they ended up telling me is that because for some for some projects it's easier for you to get auditions or casting when you are a member to it than when you're not a member. You know that, for example, if you are like in the New York area, if you are not joined on that, it will be difficult for you to get get a job, you know, or like get book something, you know. So that got my attention. Like, okay, so but if I so my question here would be like, if I'm not joined, I mean that's not gonna matter, right? I mean, I will still get the chance at some point. Let's say that one day I get the chance to be in this huge blockbuster film. I don't have to be part of the union in order for me to be there, or do I?
it depends. Like
Right.
something like, let's say all of a sudden you're cast in a Marvel movie and then you're one of the characters or whatever, and you're not union, then that's one of the situations where most likely the production will pay for you to become union, because they can, I don't know. There's a lot of little things like where productions can get fined if they have X amount of non-union workers on there. And like I've heard that too from some casting prefer to only look at SAG actors or SAG eligible actors.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, because it says that you're a professional in some way, shape, or form. My mindset is if you're supposed to have the part, you're gonna have the part. I mean, because that's how I got that. Like you stay SAG eligible by continuing to do SAG gigs over X amount of time or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I've heard that. And then I've also heard some people who became SAG, they did not work nearly as much as they did when they were SAG eligible. So yeah, it's all a very case by, like, no story and no pathway is identical. So it's all a case by case basis, I believe. But yeah, I've heard stuff like that, and I've heard other things, and like, you know, it's all different. Yeah, I think just going with like your gut and what you truly believe. Yeah, I think if somebody's hardcore pressuring you into doing something, like for me, if somebody's hardcore pressuring me to do something, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it because you're pressuring me. I was like, totally. Yeah, it's like it has to be like your own personal decision or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I have heard stuff about people becoming SAG and then they do a lot more work, but it could just be a whole, like, you know, attraction thing. They believe that when they became SAG that they would get more work, so they did. And then other people are just kind of like, yeah, nothing's gonna change, and then nothing changed. So
yeah, absolutely interesting. But in order for me, let's say that I get nominated to an Oscar or to an Emmy, do I have to be in that union or not really?
No, I don't think so. In fact, George Clooney and Brad Pitt are both, what is it called? They were union and they left the union. Oh. So they are no longer union actors. They are, I forgot what it's called.
Like free?
Yeah, it's called something. There's a specific term. But yeah, I know there's some paperwork and stuff that says that if you're a SAG actor and you're working a non-union job in union states, then you can get fined, or the production can get fined by SAG. But it's like, it's not a SAG production. I don't get it. I mean, there's some pros. Yeah, I mean, there are some pros to being SAG on specific things. Like I did my first SAG feature film where I was a lead for it. It was like a low budget SAG thing, but it was still union. My co-star worked half the amount of days that I did. And we all had to like, you know, bring wardrobe options and stuff like that. But yeah, he worked half the amount of days that I did. He ended up getting paid, like we talked about all this stuff. He ended up getting paid the same amount that I did. And on top of that, he was reimbursed for his wardrobe that he used on that specific set. Whereas I just got my day rate and that was it. So,
Okay.
yeah, so right there, but that's only if somebody reports it. Like there's so many different things. It's like, if you can do whatever the heck you want as long as nobody tells on you type thing. That's what it seems. You just have to have somebody needs to tell the SAG board or your SAG regulator that things are going on a SAG set in order for them to pay you more. Like there was another SAG production. It's like we were working overtime, and I'm one of those people, I'm like, I don't care as long as we get the shot. I'm not going to tell or anything like that. I don't care as long as we get the shot. But one of the actors was upset because they're working overtime, and rightfully so. That's them. That's, you know, your own prerogative. And they told the SAG afterboard, and so the production got fined, and then we all got paid time and a half for the days that we had not been logged in appropriately. So yeah, so I mean, that's one of the things where it's like, that's cool, but it's only if somebody tattletales. If nobody's tattling or whatever, and you have to tell them within a specific time period. Because I technically could have sued a production for getting injured on set, because it was a horse film and they spooked the horse while I was on its back and it bolted. Yeah, exactly. I had to emergency dismount, which meant I had to jump off a bolting horse.
That's badass though.
Yeah, I mean, I could have sued them for that, but I was like, I'm fine. I was like, nothing bad happened. But I did let them know, hey, just so you know, I could have sued you guys, so you guys need to be more careful when you're working with horses. I'm nice, so I didn't do it. But just so you guys were aware in the future. And then I found out on their next set they had a lot more protocol and stuff for that. I was like, thanks for using me as your guinea pig. But yeah, it was all good. But that's just one of those instances where SAG does look out for people in those occasions where there are misdeeds done on set. So, but it only works if you're on a SAG production. If the production, then it can't really do anything. Yeah.
So from what I can understand, it has its pros and cons, like everything, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're there's a lot of right to work states in America where it doesn't matter if you're SAG or non-union, you can work whatever you want if you're cast in it. But there's a lot of union, like I think they're called union states. I forgot what they're called. But if you are union, you can only work union. If you're non-union, you can work whatever you're cast in. But if you're union, you can only do union. So that's where
it gets tricky. Yeah, when it gets tricky. Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end, it limits the possibility for you to have to get the chance for you to be involved in more stuff here and there.
Exactly. So I mean, and I heard there were a lot of surprising popular films that were non-union. I don't know off the top of my head, but you know, things like that, it's just kind of cool. But it's all like a case-by-case thing. A lot of commercials are non-union, so it's like, and that's kind of like a lot of people's like day job, you know what I mean? It's like you're doing love, but you know, it's not, I mean, I love doing them. They're lots of fun, but you know, I love doing like dramatic stuff too, so I'm like, yeah. And those are the things that are considered more prestigious, but it's like the day job is commercial work. But a lot of those are non-union, so it's like if you're non-union, then it's fair game. If you're SAG, you have to be in a right to work state. So
wow, that's tricky though. Yeah,
so just statistics.
Yeah, I mean, and that that only applies in the U.S., right? I mean, or that union has approached like exists in different countries or only in the U.S.
I don't know. I think in England they have something
Something like
similar.
that.
Yeah, it's not called SAG. It's called something else. When we were living over there, um, there was a whole thing. Oh gosh, I can see the logo, but I can't remember the letters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know in Europe, I don't think it's as big of a deal. Because when I was doing that shoot in Spain, I was non-union, and somebody was SAG that they were looking at, but it was a non-union production. They're like, oh, we don't want to get in trouble with SAG. It's like, it's out of the country. It doesn't matter. It's like, still, so it's like, well, up to you guys.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, huh? And it's so interesting the fact that now, I mean, that now we get the chance to see more, like more European films as back then. I mean, I remember when I was little here in Mexico, we will only see the blockbuster films, like the Hollywood ones. We will only see that. It was rarely to hear, or like rarely, like super rare to watch like an indie film or a film based on Switzerland, or on
Yeah.
Spain, or other like other countries. So it's so cool now that because of the internet, of course, you get, and all the streaming services as well, that now you get the chance to see different type of productions from all around the world, which is pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's great. I like seeing a lot of it's like I wish I had more discipline to read the dub, but I do the whole English. No, yeah, I do the English dub instead of reading English sub. I was
Yeah.
like, because I have a hard time sitting down, like unless I'm in a movie theater or it's really late at night, I have a hard time just sitting and watching. It's like I'm usually multitasking. You know what I mean? So it's like I would need to listen and then I look like, oh, that's interesting, as opposed to watching the whole time, not doing anything.
Yeah.
So like I haven't seen Parasite yet, and I really want to. And I'm like, everybody's like, yeah, you have to like pay attention to the subtitles.
I did watch it as well.
And I'm like, I don't want to do subtitles, not because I'm lazy, because I'm not lazy. I don't like, I multitask while I watch stuff, but
yeah, I can understand that. For me, for example, when I was little, when they took us to when my dad took us to the cinema, he was always choosing with the subtitles on it, with Spanish subtitles, and I got used to it, So now instantly I will watch, I don't know, let's say like a Russian film, and I would put the subtitles in, and like instantly I like to read it because I got used to it. It was like since little I was kind of introduced, like if you want to watch films, you watch it like in their original language.
Yeah, I mean,
but as you said, of course, that sometimes I'm lazy as well and be like, yeah, no, I just watch something which I can just hear. And as you said, like if I hear like for example, when I'm like editing like this episodes or working on questions, I will have my TV which is there, put like some film or something, and I will like it to to put it in sometimes in Spanish or sometimes in English, like without the subtitles, and I will just be like looking every now and then and be like, oh cool. Or at some point you just get fully attention, like, okay, I'm watching this now, So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, like when I'm working on things, it's like I like having noise on. Like I'll watch I was watching my nephews a while ago, and they were just going ham, and I'm like working on my computer, like typing up all this stuff. Like they just kept getting louder and louder. It wasn't bothering me. It's like I knew that they were trying to get on my nerves, though. They're like, are we bothering you, Aunt Taylor? And I was like, no, you're fine, you can play your music and stuff. It's like I like having noise in the background while I'm thinking. And they're like, they were like, what? It's like, that's weird. Our parents are always telling us to be quiet. And I was like, sorry. But I was like, I'm the cool aunt right now. But so that is something that I like, having TV on the background and stuff like that. But when I was growing up, I'd watch a lot of things with subtitles, like anime and stuff. Like I was real into Naruto. but I couldn't find the English dub for free. I could only find like traditional Japanese, and then I have to read the subtitles.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh, but because I had to watch it on YouTube. I couldn't watch it. Access to streaming stuff. It's like they were out there, but my parents didn't have it. So I was like,
yeah, I can understand. Yeah, here for example, they will dub all of that. Like most of animated series, they were dubbed. Like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, or like so many I remember. They were instantly dubbed. So that was cool.
I've gotten real into Dragon Ball Z. Oh my gosh. That's a new thing this year. I started watching Dragon Ball from episode 1, like the original series from the 80s, and now we're in Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I have a problem. I'm like, yeah,
I grew up with that. Like literally I remember back then they were releasing a new episode weekly, so my dad, my brother, and I will gather we'll be on the couch waiting for that episode. And it was like that for, I think, like basically for most of my childhood, or I think all my childhood was like that. Yeah. So it was it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, the fact to get that, and yeah, it was dubbed. And fun enough, later on, as I was growing up, one time I discovered like the original, Japanese version, and it was just not connecting. I got since I got used to the dubbing, it's like, okay, this is like the thing. And watch it in like on his original language, I was like, I prefer the dub version 1,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, the voice, the intonations are different too. Like, we downloaded the Dragon Ball series, and you can watch it English dub or Japanese regular with subtitles. And we're like, well, what does the Japanese regular sound like? And we're like, this is completely different voices. But now it's like we're watching it with English dub and the subtitles on it, but it's the subtitles for the Japanese words, and so they are totally different. I was like, that is not what he said. He said it's going to be 50 days until they touch down, and this thing just said 150 days. Like, what was it, 200 days, something like that. I was like, what? Yeah. And anyways, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. But let's just say, I'm not afraid of subtitles. It's just I have to be in the mood. I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't do something with some noise. It sounds weird for some people maybe, because if I do it quietly, like all in silence and just me, eventually I get sleepy. Especially if I'm comfortable, I start to be like, like crossing the, like little by little, start to be like, okay, I think I'm sleepy now, or that instead, whenever like the other day, I was watching Saving Private Ryan. I remember like the first scene where there was like explosions and gunshots and, all of that. And I was just with my laptop all happy, just like working on, being like, okay, this is cool, so yeah, I get it. I know what you mean. I was doing that with Gladiator the other day. I was not paying attention. I was just hearing cling, cling, like people dying. And I was like, But yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah. It's like, and even if the noise stops, I'm already in work mode, so it doesn't bother me when it's silent. They're like, oh, were you working in silence? I was like, no. Well, I guess so. I guess it ended a while ago, but I was too busy, to notice because I'd got but yeah. So that's funny.
yeah, it is. Yeah, so cool. I mean, at the end, what can I say, Taylor? I mean, we all know you're super badass. You're like super talented. I mean, it's more than obvious, of course, as I've been saying, since the first episode we got, which was like a year ago. Wow, a year ago, yeah. Yeah, and to this one, I mean, and the fact that you have that you have been involved in so many cool things, and every now and then when I will see Instagram and see that you have this new project here or this new project there, I mean, that's really cool. But also, you are like the living proof that dreams can come true, and you can make it happen. But of course, you need to work a lot, and the fact that you are making the work to make that happen, that's badass. Let me just tell you that.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to thank those watching this right now. Thank you so much for staying here in this with us. Thank you so much for staying and just hearing us, seeing us rambling about a lot of stuff here and there. Thank you so much. Make sure to go follow Taylor like right now. I mean, the video is done, so you can just close it now, or you can just wait a little bit and there will appear something different here, so you can watch another video. But anyway, my point here is to go follow Taylor right now. I mean, as I said before, let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Taylor. She's the best. She's awesome. And again, Taylor, you are the best here. I'll be seeing the next one.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right, here we go. So that's a wrap.